and welcome to So You Think You're Awake, the show about life transformation through dream interpretation. I'm Michael Sheridan. On this show, through analyzing your dreams, I reveal your potential and the obstacles you need to overcome. I'm very specific. I tell you the magic power you have, what makes you magnificent, and the bumps in life that are holding you back. These bumps are not in the way, they are the way. To get in on the action, go to dream-analysis.com, fill in the form, and submit your dream to the show. That's all you have to do. Merry Christmas, or whatever holiday cheer you're into, to you. With it being Christmas in just 2 days, I thought I'd start the show with the meanings of some Christmas-related symbols. The easy ones, of course, Christmas itself. Christmas is about the birth of Jesus and the celebration of that. So you're everything in a dream, so it's about your birth. People often forget that one wrong, even though it's an easy one. Christmas tree and Christmas lights. Well, Christmas lights indicate that you have an intuitive ability. You have a strong connection with your soul and higher self. And so you get information seemingly in the dark, out of nowhere. You just know things about things. To dream of Christmas gifts, whatever the gift is symbolic of the gift that you have. We all have gifts. And so being reminded about gifts under a tree, is reminding you that you have a special spiritual abilities that you need to be using, that maybe you're not. For instance, if you get a present of a pen, it means that you're a writer. You should be doing that. So let's move. I have a whole list of them here, but I'm wary of the time because we have an interview on today's show. To dream of Santa or Santa's red and white colors. So Santa delivers gifts, but the red and white colors are a really good color combination, and they ask you to have joy and hope for the future. And let's see an easy one, a funny one, flying reindeer. Well, a reindeer that can fly in a dream is special and would indicate that you're able to fly with your guides, or you have the ability to channel, because you can raise your vibration to where you can connect with your guides, get information from them and pass it down. And let's finish on a funny one. How about the crushing debt that you might have after Christmas? Well, debt in dreams or anything to do with money is typically about the heart. And so it's talking about an imbalance that you need to address. So now let's have a look at a few dreams. And we have Jolianne on the line. Jolianne, thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for inviting me, Michael.
So you posted a few dreams, and the first ones are easy, and then they get progressively more difficult. At least that's the way I look at them. The first one is titled In Love, and I think this is your most recent one. You say, it looks like I was dating Justin Trudeau. I don't follow politics, so I'm not really aware of what he's doing. And I was really bonding with his transgender child from his ex-wife. Him and his child were singing it together so beautifully. I told them that they could record an album and it would be great. So straight away, the dream is about your spiritual leadership skills and also your channeling ability, because they're singing. Are you aware that you have both of those gifts?
Yes, from a few dreams you have already interpreted.
Well, see, that was a trick question. Not from dreams. I don't want to know from dreams. What are you doing with those gifts?
Oh, yes. I use those gifts in my work. Definitely. I work as a spiritual holistic healer.
Okay, excellent. And so you're obviously doing something to improve at least one of these, probably the channeling, but maybe the other as well. Well, let me ask you, what is the change? What is it you're working on? Why are they showing up?
That's a great question. I think I'm still working on peeling the layers of stuff that I have been carrying from my past childhood stuff. I mean, I don't know. I haven't been actively doing any specific, I do hypnotherapy and hypnosis, but I haven't done any specific work like this. But yeah, I've been curious to know what's coming up in these dreams.
Have you been doing anything to say, like, improve your channeling or improve your leadership skill set?
So not specifically, but with the intention of I have been listening more to my guides. So I have been following their guidance more. So I guess that is helping, but I'm not actually doing anything specific to improve the channeling abilities.
All right. Okay. Well, you need to do something. And we know what it is. The dream tells us what it is.
Oh, yay.
His transgender child, you point out that you're bonding well with his transgender child. What did that mean to you in the dream? Why do you think you bonded well? And why specifically a transgender child? Like, I didn't even know his ex-wife had a transgender child. So,
well, no, actually he doesn't. That's not, like, he has a wife, and I believe he has a boy and a girl.
okay.
But
Oh,
in
well
my
then,
dream,
that's fine. So what does transgender mean to you? Because I could suggest, and I will if you're not sure about what does it mean to you?
so I guess no, what it means to me is allowing someone to be who they really are.
Perfect. Perfect. That's exactly what it is. And supporting them in being who they are. And
Yeah.
not just, what's interesting is you say his ex-wife. So that points to issues with mom, because we have a
Okay.
female who's pointed out that this is the mother of this child. So you're the child in the dream, and you're the child who was not allowed to express who she was. And what else do we have in here? Yes, why? Another reason why it's the wife is because spiritual leadership works through female energy. So quite often we see that in dreams. We would see the president or prime minister or whoever being introduced, and then the wife playing a more prominent feature, like she's the one that you're introduced to. So having the ex-wife show up is good. And ex is another way of saying this is something from the past that needs to be dealt with.
Oh, okay.
And so then he was playing the flute, and it was beautiful. He handed me the second flute, and I tried to play, but it sounded awful, like it wasn't working properly. So he's showing you, look, hey, here's symbolically, here's how you channel, and isn't it amazing? Because music in dreams represents channeling. And then you try copy that. So you're trying to channel like the way you've seen other people channel, and you have decided that your channeling is broken because it's not working properly. And that's not true. That's just what we determine. And one of the things that people get really bogged down with is the technique of the channeling. So like you and I are talking right now, and we're able to focus on the communication, the message, not how we're communicating. We don't focus on how we have to shape our mouth, move our tongue, blow air through our vocal cords, or, it's none of that. We just concentrate on the message. And it's the same with channeling. You're meant to just focus on the message and not worry at all about how it works, or indeed why it works. And then it flows for you. And that's always going to be the case. So anybody who gets to the point where they can channel, they never focus on the technique. They know how they channel and they just do it. It's like you don't focus on how you speak. So you're at the point where you still focus on the channeling, and everybody makes, does that because you're like, okay, that's going to help me improve.
I feel like I'm trying too hard. Like sometimes when I'm not trying is when the messages are coming in. But
Exactly.
when I'm trying, it's where the message is not coming through.
And I could guarantee you, if you were to focus on, think about how you're shaping your mouth, placing your tongue, all the different positions, and say the word apple, you wouldn't even be able to say the word apple. But if you just say the word, you say the word. And so it's exactly like that. That's how the channeling works. You have to get out of your own way, and then it just becomes easier. But you do have to know how it works for you, what the technique is, as like what the style is, I should say, because there are lots of different styles. But you already know what yours is. Anyway, we went to pick up my mom. Ta-da! She comes in at the train station, and the train station is about the start of life. So this is about birth, because it's where a journey starts or ends. As we came back, they started getting ready for the show, and as the crowd was ready to listen, I think there's a typo there somewhere. My mom and I were spectators, and as we were watching the show and Justin started the song that he had been practicing, my mom started to be very critical, and her comments about him and the child were hurtful. So this is about your mom being critical of you and you feeling hurt. And that's what you need to address in order to fix your channeling. You don't need to concentrate on the technique at all. You go back and you deal with the issues around mom. And you say, it was hurting me because I loved them. So dreams do this. Of course, you're a spectator, so there's a lot in that. That says that you've kind of like took a step back because of the start to life that you got. Because remember earlier, you were actually playing the instrument and you're with Justin. now you've stepped away from it. So it's like you stepped away from your gift because of the start of life that you got, the critical nature you picked up or you were subjected to, let's say. And then you're looking at these other people in the dream who are being criticized. And then you say, it was hurting me. So really, it's you're everything in the dream. So we already know it's about you being criticized and you being hurt. But you point out in the dream, it is really about me because it was hurting me because I loved them. I got up in the front of the crowd and told her off. And I tamed down what you had written because we couldn't say it on air. You say, I told her off. And then I left because I couldn't stand her. I felt liberated, but I ended up missing half of his song. So this is really good. And this is a good thing to do in a dream. Like you can kill your parents in a dream. You can push them down the stairs. You can do all these sorts of things. It's just a dream. And what you do is a message to your subconscious that says, here's what I'm prepared to do in order to improve my channeling ability or my spiritual leadership abilities, both of which require female energy. So both are going to benefit from you doing this. And so standing up to your mom for the criticism that you were subjected to and the hurt and pain that you felt as a child is what you're doing at the end of the dream, which is really, really, really beneficial. So any surprises in the analysis of that dream?
No, actually, in this one, I kind of intuitively knew the meaning because I remember in your classes the certain meanings, and I remember also playing music in other dreams, and I also remember the meaning. So that dream, especially when I woke up, I felt so good just from telling her off. So I guess I got the message from that dream just from like what I know and my intuition as well.
Okay. Well, let's try you on the next one. Boat cruise, which is a little bit older. You say, and it's only a few days older. I was on a boat cruise with my friends Eva and Crystal. Crystal was pregnant and she isn't pregnant in real life too. So she stayed on the boat while Eva and I went to swim. So I'll stop there for a second. Dreaming of somebody who's pregnant or being pregnant in a dream is fantastic. It's about you being at a stage where something new is going to manifest in your life. And it's going to take a bit of work, just like the labor required to bring a child into the world, though it's going to be very beneficial and it's going to really reward you. And because this dream is older than the one we just did, we already know what's coming. It's your spiritual leadership and your channeling skills. That's what's being worked on. And I like the name Crystal too, because obviously crystals are used to tune into things. We use crystals in every piece of circuitry there is today. So it's a really good name. We also have, it being a pun on Christ consciousness, which is appropriate for what we've got going on at Christmas here now. So tell me a little bit about Ava and Crystal. Just briefly, what would be their traits? What would be positive about them, for instance?
They are very good friends where it's so funny because we all went through very similar backgrounds. We went through stuff in our own way, but we reconnect like that where we understand each other, and we're definitely different from our families and different from the people around us. So if I were to say like Crystal, I'd say she's very courageous, and
I think actually, so I asked you that because sometimes something stands out, and you already said what it is. It's so different. Okay. And you all have that in common. But I think it's really like the pregnancy, and Eva is a pun on Eve, or like Christmas Eve is the day before Christmas. So it's like this new thing is right on the horizon for you. It's just about to happen, just like Crystal is pregnant in the dream. So both very positive. And it's good because you're dreaming of friends that you obviously are very supportive of each other and understand each other, get each other. So yeah, that's a positive thing. Then the boat went, then the boat started to move. So we grabbed the boat so we didn't get left behind. So this is kind of telling. So do you feel like you were neglected or left behind in childhood? Because we know where the other dreams point.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So this is the thing then that It's not true in reality today. But you can go into a situation and you will feel the feelings that you had in childhood. You project them into whatever environment you're in. There are lots of reasons for that. But basically, our childhood gives us a set of filters by which we perceive the world. And so if you feel neglected in childhood, then you go into a room, and if there's 100 people in the room and one person is not paying you attention, you will notice that one person and them not paying you attention. When you deal with the issues around your childhood and that no longer follows you, you will see the other 99 people. It's just how we work. It's meant to work that way. Lots of reasons behind it, lots of descriptions as to why it works that way too. So this is what you need to deal with, this whole sense of being separated or different, not different from other people, but not belonging, let's say, not belonging. That's what you have to deal with from childhood, heal that. But it gives you lots of other things. There's always two sides to every coin. But let's move on. Then the boat went underwater and was moving forward at a very fast speed. And I was right in the front of the window, just like an airplane window, but underwater. And the captain was surprised to see someone there. Ava was holding onto one of the wings, like the airplane wing. How did you feel in the dream when you were there?
I was surprised because I didn't expect the boat to start going underwater and moving. So I was surprised, and it felt like I was right on the spot because I was against the window, just like a bug on the windshield of the car. So that was a weird feeling.
Did you feel frightened, or was it like, could you breathe under the water? Like,
I was able to breathe under the water.
Okay.
But
so did it feel exhilarating, or did it feel scary?
It did feel weird. So not scary, like I knew everything was going to be okay, but it feels like I was somewhere I was not supposed to be. That's how it felt like.
So you are trying to get into the spiritual field, and the boat is about a spiritual journey because it's on water, and water represents the spirituality. And then the boat goes underwater, which you wouldn't typically do. So it says that you have the ability to go deep into the spiritual field because you're going underwater, and you've no problem there, but you know that now because you're able to breathe under the water, which is obviously something unique to you in the dream, and presumably your friend can do that as well. So it's saying, look, you're going to start moving forward in the spiritual field, and you're going to start moving fast, and that's what you're on the eve of, and that's what the pregnancy is about. And it's going to feel like exactly like you felt in the dream, a little bit weird, but it's only an initial thing. And like you said, you had the question in your mind, like you felt like maybe I'm not meant to be there. And I put in the maybe. So this is why you've got to deal with the issues around mom, the feeling of not belonging, the feeling like maybe I shouldn't be here. I think maybe I'm in the wrong family because I'm not getting the love I need and all that sort of stuff. So then when you start moving forward in the fields that you're good in, you're going to have that same feeling, like I was saying before. We project that feeling into everything else that's around us until we heal it from our childhood. Does that make sense?
Yes, a lot.
Okay. So that's the whole thing. So it's all really good. And you can ignore the feeling of, am I in the wrong place? That you get when you start moving forward because you're in the right place. Absolutely. So now let's have a look at the last one, gala with Valerie. You say, I was at a gala with Valerie, friend from high school. She's a famous TV radio host in Quebec now, and this gala was lasting 3 days. My hairstyle was like Shakira, big and curly brown hair with blonde highlights. I was really sexy. There were lots of men trying to get to me. We got to our table. It was not set up yet. We had to wait until we could sit. I was pretty excited about the food, and I had also brought brownies and popcorn that I had made. Valerie asked her friend that was an esthetician to wax her knees because that is her most sensitive part. Okay, so that's your dream. So let's go back to the start. Valerie is a high school friend, so that's really good that you actually know this person, even though she's a very famous TV and radio host. So a TV personality in a dream, including a TV station and a radio station, as opposed to a TV set and radio set, they represent the ability to project your mind. You already said in your intro that you're a hypnotist, so that's what this symbolizes here in this dream. But the ability to project. And the gala was lasting 3 days, so it's a celebration of that, which is good. My hairstyle was like Shakira, big and curly brown hair with blonde highlights, I was really sexy. So the blonde highlights are really good. Blonde is about pure thoughts, and brown is about practicality. So and a new hairstyle is about changing how you think with regard to things. So this is saying that you do hypnosis now, but something's going to change. Your approach to it is how your role or whatever it is you do in that field is going to change. Are you thinking of changing what you offer or how you deliver your work?
I am repackaging, if I can say, like showing up differently and promoting differently, and the image of, hypnosis. So it's hard to. It has been challenging to bring that message forward, because there's so many people and there's so many misconceptions with hypnosis and hypnotherapy.
Yeah, perfect. So what you've added to this is a hairstyle like Shakira, and Shakira is a singer. So this says that you're going to add channeling to your hypnosis, and that's what the blonde highlights are as well. Guides in dreams often have blonde hair. Now it's not dyed blonde hair, but dyed blonde hair is not good in a dream. But here with the highlights, it's a positive thing because it's mixed in with the brown hair. So it's saying it's a practical, different approach that's going to include elements of channeling for you. And it may not be that you channel for the person. It may be that you channel and you're told what you're going to do, but I suspect you are going to channel for the person, the people you work with. And then we get to our table that's not quite set up yet. So it's a bit like being on the eve of the things earlier in the dream and being pregnant. So it's like you're not there yet. You still have to wait because things are being set up for you. So everything happens in two planes, the spirit plane and the physical world. So you have to wait till everything's in alignment, and that's coming, we know, because of the pregnancy. I was pretty excited about the food, and I also brought brownies and popcorn that I had made. So tell me about the food. You have food sensitivities.
Yes, I do. And I also happen to cook a lot in person, and I cook a lot in my dreams as well.
All right, okay. And do you cook brownies and popcorn?
Yes, I do make popcorn. I get the organic, non-GMO air pop.
So we have here waxing somebody's knees because that is her most sensitive part. Do you have skin sensitivities?
Yes, I do, on my right knee.
Okay. So this is part of reality for you, but also knees and dreams are about being flexible because they're a joint that bends. And like we wouldn't be able to move forward in life or move forward in this new project in your case without being flexible. So this is asking you to be flexible. And you have to be, but here's the thing. So you're probably looking at what it is you want to do, what you want to achieve. And you say, no, I must do this though, and I must do that. And this dream is saying, no, be more flexible than you're currently being, or be aware, be sensitive to where you're being told to be flexible. Yeah, that's the best way to put it. And the dream is picking things that you already have to be careful about and bringing them into the dream on purpose to show you that you already are able to pay attention to things that you need to pay attention to. So it's quite a good endorsement in the dream.
Yes.
So now, if you were to think about what it is you're doing in the repackaging, are there areas that you could look at and say, could I be more flexible in some way?
Yes, I think so. There's always a part that's trying to do too much. There's a part that wants to, like, I'm so scared of doing what everybody else is doing. So I'm putting a lot of pressure on myself. And I guess that's what it is, where I kind of have to just trust and be more flexible in those moments, more going out with the flow.
Yeah, it could be that. I would, if you're saying you're repackaging, so you're probably putting combinations of things together and saying, okay, here's a package and here's another package. And I would take the flexibility, the knees part in this to say, really examine the packages and make sure that you're not being too rigid in some area in terms of oh no, I must have this or I must have that. For instance, you could have a very simple, easy intro course that will lead people into taking a bigger package. And you might look at that original one and say, there's no value in this, there's no depth, there's no whatever. But it does give somebody a taste, because we have food here as well. And the brownies and popcorn, they're like little treats. They're not going to be the main meal. And so I would say the flexibility fitting in with the rest of your dream is about giving somebody a sample or a taste of what it is you do in a package that you might consider really has no substance, just like the popcorn has no substance.
So my guys already told me about that program. They already showed me what to do, and I'm aware of it. I guess it's been more than 6 months that I'm aware of it, but I haven't moved forward with that package.
Okay. So now you will. Okay. Well, I'm delighted you joined me today to talk about your dreams. Thank you very much. And
Thank you so
good
much.
luck with your new packages. Let us know what you're doing, what you came up with.
Thank you so much for inviting me, Michael. It's always a pleasure again to analyze dreams with you.
You will have noticed, of course, the consistency in Jolianne's dreams, talking about issues from childhood. We all have issues from childhood. That's the whole design of the system. We come in onto the earth plane. We need to transfer issues that we have in the spirit world onto the earth plane. We typically use our parents and our environment and conditioning at the very start of our lives in order to give us a push or a knock that will make us pick up those negative traits we have in the spirit plane. It's easy to do because we already have them. So we lean in that direction by default. Once we have them, we live with them for a while, and then we have to work on healing them. And healing childhood trauma is actually the main thrust of the work I do. I help people heal childhood trauma. I talked to Jolianne off air about all the things that she needs to do, and she has worked with me on some of these things. So it's very clear that the system for what you need to do takes about 6 to 8 weeks. And then you're clear of that, and it won't show up in your dreams again. So you know it's gone because it'll disappear from your dreams. And you also know it's gone because you feel different. You feel transformed. Okay, that's it. That's our show for just 2 days before Christmas. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you next week. Remember, go to dream-analysis.com to find out about my services and to submit your dreams to this show.